Hi everybody, I'm Ann Harrigan, and this is my sneak peek into the third movement of Beethoven's 7th Symphony. Now, we've talked about the fact that Richard Wagner called this the apotheosis of the dance, and for good reason. Beethoven starts out right away in the first movement with a jig, an Irish dance, and then he goes into a French courtly dance in the second movement, a pavane. So what has he got in store for us for the third movement? Traditionally, with Mozart and Haydn, the third movement was reserved for a dance rhythm. In this case, the minuet, a courtly dance in 3/4 time. Beethoven used the minuet form only once in his first symphony, and then starting with his second symphony, he departed from that right away. He took that 3/4 rhythm and played it so quickly that it couldn't be conducted in 3. You couldn't do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because it was so fast. You started going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And after a while, you just can't move your hands that fast. And so you have to conduct it in 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. He called it a scherzo, or joke, in many of his symphonies. And usually there's some great Beethovenian humor with offhand accents and dramatic crescendi. This movement is no different, except it's not called a scherzo for some reason. It's marked presto. Presto is very fast. In the Italian names for tempi, for speeds, the only thing that's faster is prestissimo, which is extremely presto. So you can imagine this movement really rips along. It's got a beautiful bouncy rhythm, and it does have these jolts that Beethoven liked, these offhand accents and sudden crescendi and decrescendi, where the music will get very, very soft or very loud. Let's listen to the opening of the presto. Now, in the traditional symphony, there's many forms that composers would adhere to. For example, most symphonies had 4 movements. Most symphonies had a slow introduction. Most symphonies had a third movement that was a minuet, or in Beethoven's case, a scherzo. And in all of the cases, if you had a minuet, you always had a trio, which was sandwiched in between the minuet sections. Even though Beethoven didn't use a minuet, but a scherzo, or presto in this case, he still used the trio form, which is typically slower and more melodic. And like many trios, he used the winds again, like he did in that slower section of the second movement. This time he's really pulling out all the stops with the pastoral scene. Remember, he liked to write in the countryside. You can hear the bagpipes and the drones and the bassoons. You can hear the horn harmonies of the natural horns. And of course you can hear the woodwinds. The end of the trio is marked by an insistent passage by the second horn over and over again, almost kind of like a bleating sheep. I'm not quite sure what Beethoven was going for, but it sends us all the way back to the presto, which is repeated in full and at first very, very soft. The trio comes back, the presto comes back again, and we're off to the last movement. I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek into the third movement of Beethoven's 7th Symphony. I'll look forward to seeing you either online or in person soon.